Hello again. I'm here to talk once more about the Jake Paul Mike Tyson event because we're edging closer and closer. And one of the interesting developments has been the fact that Tyson lost his cool at the weigh-in. Now, I was kind of surprised about that because all along at the various press conferences, we've seen Tyson just keeping his light on a low gas, as it were, and he's just going through and humouring Paul and all his ridiculous antics. I don't know why he does it. Well, I know why he does it, because he thinks it sells more tickets. But listen, there is no need for that. That's kind of WWE style. We've spoken about that before. Anyway, here's the thing. So at the weigh-in, whatever happened, and I gather that Paul had kind of crept along the floor in front of Tyson. Tyson was unaware of this, and then he popped up like a jack-in-the-box. And he probably gave Tyson a bit of a scare, a bit of a fright. And if you know the reaction that sometimes brings, Tyson slaps him. Fine, okay. He lost his cool. But you know what? If I were Paul, I'd be seriously concerned about my safety. Because all he's done is he's kind of stoked the fire. The flames are burning within Tyson. He can see that now, which we haven't been able to see, up until this point, up until the weigh-in. But now we can see it, and we can see that Tyson is raging inside, and he let that show today. So that rage will be unleashed on Paul for sure, right? But here's the thing. I've had lots of interesting comments over the past few days, given our interest in this fight. And somebody said that there are rumours, and I've heard these rumours as well, but where do they come from? Rumours that the fight is rigged. And this particular one mentions Joe Rogan, where it says that if Tyson knocks out Paul in the first round, he will lose his entire purse. Now, I'm not sure about that, but I do know where this guy's coming from, because, I think I mentioned the other day that Tyson has said in a newspaper article, we realise we have to put on a show. And so what does that mean? That's a kind of grey area for me. Well, the show might mean, okay, let's do 3 or 4 or 5 rounds, and then, let's have the free-for-all. I don't know. Listen, nobody knows it other than the guys who are inside the camp. So that's an interesting point. But Tyson, I think, will want the first round to warm up, if you like, 2 minutes, and he might want the next one, and then any time after that, given that he has been angry. And remember, Paul can be in his ear all the time, in clinches, saying things to rile his opponent, and Tyson quite possibly will respond in a bad way towards that. I hope he doesn't get too angry that he makes mistakes and he does silly things. I think if I were Paul, however, I'd be extremely concerned at what's happened, given the slap and given that the gloves are off, figuratively speaking. Bluetooth Shark, he made an interesting point. He said if Jake Paul gets through round 1, from round 2 onwards, he'll be suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder. And I kind of go along with that, but I think that PTSD will start the minute he steps into the ring. And I think he'll be concerned from the first bell, if not before. And who knows, that might be the way, that might be the reason that Paul is reacting and acting the way he has done in the lead up to this fight. Andrew Ferguson thinks, that's an interesting point, he thinks that all the weed Tyson smokes has taken out that killer instinct in the former heavyweight champion. I don't know. Does it do that? Possibly, yeah. Maybe it does. Maybe he's too laid back. Maybe, when did he last smoke? Will he be smoking in the changing room before he goes into the fight? Who knows? I don't know these things, and neither do you. We've just got to rely on hearsay and rumour and make up our own minds. But let's just deal with the fight itself. Paul will destroy Tyson. End of story, says the crawling chaos, one of the comments. That's the way we're all beginning to think, and we're beginning to hope that that happens. And the reason we do that is for two reasons. First, we don't want to see a former heavyweight champion lose to a novice fighter, to a guy with limited technique, limited ability. We don't want to see that. That would be a sad day for boxing. And in one way it would be good in as much as surely it would bring to an end all these circus fights that we're beginning even to talk about. I mean, we're even hearing ridiculous scenarios that Jake Paul would like to fight Canelo. That's bizarre. And Canelo, the thing I do like about Canelo, apart from his ability, his punch, his technique, and the fact that he is a great champion, one of the things I like about him is his dignity. And he doesn't behave like some of the other fighters. He goes about doing his business, winning fights, taking the money and moving on. He doesn't go in for all these charades that we see around many of the boxing matches today. And we're seeing it actually. We've seen it with Tyson Fury as well. It's ludicrous. It's ridiculous. So that's why I like Canelo. One of the reasons I like Canelo. And the other thing is, what planet is Jake Paul really on if he thinks that he can engineer a fight with Canelo? Okay, he's got the money to do it. He's got the promotional know-how to do it. He's got the funding behind him to do it. Is that enough for Canelo to, in my view, demean himself by stepping into the ring with Jake Paul? Anyway, that's another issue. So here's an interesting point made by one of the comments, who says Tyson's speed and precision have gone. That's maybe right. Maybe they have gone. But over short bursts, his speed is phenomenal. His power is terrific. So over short bursts, 3, 4, 5 punches and away, and he can take his rests. He could go in there and hit these 4 or 5 punch combinations, and how long is it going to take before Jake Paul eventually raises his hand and says, okay, enough, I can't take any more, or he hits the deck and can't get up. That's the way I see the fight develop. I mean, as I said before, it's compelling. It's a fascinating, intriguing scenario which we've never really seen before on this scale. I shudder to think what some of the old fighters, the greats of boxing over the years, Joe Louis, Rocky Marciano, Ezzard Charles, all these guys, I can't imagine them, in those days, coming out of retirement at the age of 58 to take on a young whippersnapper like Jake Paul. Listen, it's got all the elements of intrigue surrounding it. What do we do? We've all got opinions. I wish I had the definitive answer for you, other than I really think Tyson will destroy Paul. I hope he does, for no other reason that it's going to be bad for boxing if he doesn't. And the other reason being, of course, which many of us feel, I know, is that Paul he's come along as a kind of nearly guy. He thinks he can be a world champion. Does he? Or is all that front? Is all that bravado? Anyway, you know what? It's lovely to hear all your comments, and I really appreciate you getting in touch. Okay, we'll speak again soon, after the fight, of course. Bye.